welcome to the Wealthy LaLa show with myself, Laurie Laursen. Today is episode 207 2. I'm at a bit of a loss as to what to chat about today. Um, I was looking at why. And what I'm noticing is that since I have been, since I've come home from Dr. Joe's workshop and been choosing to meditate 2-3 times a day and join in on these coherence healings and stuff like that, that I'm so much in my world that would be probably the only thing that I kind of have to talk about. And there's not a problem in my world. It's so interesting. It's like I can't find a problem. Like, is there things I'd like to ask for? Yeah. But again, it's not even a problem. So it's really quite fascinating. Really, I'm just not even really sure where to go with this. Like what would your life be like if you didn't have a problem? Because this is new to me. Like it's not like I've had a ton of problems, but when I talked in my, I know I mentioned it in one of the last couple shows since I've come back from Dr. Joe's class. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, for those of you, if you're listening for the first time, went to a 7-day, week-long workshop with him the middle of September from like the 16th to the 22nd or 23rd or something. And so, yeah. So this is really quite new to be in this space of, and not that this podcast has to come from a place of there being something wrong. But one of the things that I've been really, really good at is taking something that could be judged as wrong and moving it into a different possibility. And all I can find for anything that a person would call a problem is a possibility on the other side of it. I'm either finding a possibility of choosing to meditate. I'm finding that if I choose to join in one of these groups that of people that are advanced Dr. Joe attendees, you can join these groups and do group meditations, so you get together on Zoom, which is like a video platform, and then you get to, you're all wherever you are in the world, but you're all choosing the same thing at the same time, listening at the same time through the same platform. And it just really creates a nice, just like a nice sense of connection in my world. Yet, what's neat about this is I'm finding that the connection that I'm receiving from being on these like global Zooms, these global meetings, is it's not creating separation in the world that I'm living in. Like I don't feel like I need to be anywhere else other than where I'm at. And I really like that. Over the years, I've watched myself. When I started taking all these classes, I thought that the answers were outside of where I lived. The answers, what I required was outside of me. And there was definitely tools to like bring home. It's like it'd be, for example, like if you decided you want to take a cooking class, so you learn how to make Chinese food at a cooking class. And so then you're like, oh my God, this is just so great. Chinese food and this cooking class and these people in the class is where the answer is. Whereas you actually bring the Chinese food home and you share it with your family, and maybe you'll take another Chinese food cooking class or a different cooking class in the future, but it doesn't create a separation from what you're doing and what you're living. And in the beginning, I felt like what I was doing was creating a separation. But that was my perspective of it too. And part of it was too is it was like, going out and finding having Chinese food and going, "Oh my God, like this is the best thing ever," when you're so used to, say, just eating spaghetti all the time, and no offense against spaghetti. Um, but what ends up is I found in my world what ended up happening was because the new and exciting stuff was away from where I lived and away from where I was at home, and physically at home I mean even with me, wherever I take me. Um, but home would look like a house, right, with a my family. And then I would think that the answer was away, in the Chinese food. And so I watched myself over the years go, oh, it's not actually there. I can just go and I can learn this new tool and then I can bring it home and I can use it in my life and it can create my life greater. Um, yeah, before I really started to understand that I actually create my life, it felt like other things created my life. So I felt like I needed the other things, which I think is really interesting. So yeah, so it's really interesting because where I'm sitting right now is just really simply at a place of possibility, just kind of wonder, enjoyment. I've certainly had some things, since I've come home, I've had such a deeper clarity of what actually works for me, what doesn't work for me, what I like, what I don't like. If I'm triggered by something, someone does something in my world and I don't like it, whatever that is, I'm able to get really clear on what it is really fast. Um, I love that when I do get triggered, I I remember that thing. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't actually hear this before. Although I probably did hear it before, but refused to hear it, is when Dr. Joe says our bodies actually will physically react. So it's like if we came across a tiger and it's growling at us, our body will go into fear and it will actually, if we then walked away and became safe, our bodies would resume back to normal within 60 to 90 seconds, or 90 to seconds to 2 minutes, something like that. Basically 2 minutes or less, right? And anything after that, he would tell his kids that you're faking it. So I remind myself now when I stay annoyed or frustrated at something longer than 2 minutes, which is very easy, I remind myself that I'm faking it, even as much as that might annoy me for that to be a truth. So, yeah, anyways. um, and it's kind of cool, like watching what has shifted in my world. And that quote that I've mentioned quite a few times on previous shows that Dr. Joe says, the quantum field responds not to what we want, it responds to who we're being. I really do kind of wonder, like, I wonder how different I'm being than I was, say a month ago. Yeah. I had a family member say something to me the other day, and they said, we really notice a difference in you. Like you seem so much more settled. I like that. I guess as a person who doesn't really feel like I have any problems, um, would come across as someone who's more settled, hey? This is like a whole new world, people. This is really, yeah. And what's neat is I'm looking at my desk here, and there is a question that I wrote down about a month or two ago, and I love this. I'm going to start asking this: is what is available to me now? Because I wonder what is available to me now. In my mind movie, so my video that I have of, what I'd like to create in my future, one of the quotes that I have with this beautiful pink flower is, keep going. There's more awaiting you. And it just feels so good to just not feel like I have a problem that I can see in my world where I'm really quite happy to just sort of coast here for a little bit. And I don't get that that's wrong, you know? Yeah. It's really, really a different space, you guys. I don't remember ever not feeling like I had a problem before. And I mean, it's not like my body would be considered 100% or like every one of my relationships is 100% or everything that I want is 100%. It's not. But there's such a sense of peace and ease and um, God, contentment in my world that I either, know that what I'd like to have is possible, that what isn't 100% is changeable. Um, there's just a simplicity and an ease in my world that I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't have FOMO, people, fear of missing out. I had that before. Oh gosh, what else? Yeah, I find I'm more playful. I'm more present. I have so much more trust in myself. I feel more alive, even energetically. I had again this afternoon where I felt like what I needed to do was take a nap. And again, I asked the question, do I need to have a nap or is it a meditation? So what I do now is I put a meditation on. And if I do fall asleep, well, then okay, that's what I needed. And I did. I didn't actually fall asleep. I actually sat with this beautiful, beautiful meditation and enjoyed it and opened my heart and tapped into some beautiful energies that I desire to have even more in my life. I tapped into the energies as though I had them now. Some of them were empowerment, worthy, wholeness, security, safety. Those were actually the ones that I actually did tap into. And when I came out of the meditation, I was just, oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. If this is something that you're looking for in your life, because I recognize that these are things that I would have discovered or sensed in other people's worlds before and just went, I'd like to have that. I'd like to have that for me. Like, what is that contentment for me? What is that ease of life for me? What's trust in myself for me? And, oh gosh, um, so I've talked about in the past Corey Michelle. She's got some really great classes. You can find her on Facebook. And I did her class a few times, and she calls them energetic priorities. So you make these energetic priorities of what energies you'd like to have as priorities in your life. And so I'm looking at my list that I made back in January, where I said I want a majestically delicious life, or 2019. And I've got vibrancy, wealthy, playful, congruence, inspired, and trust. And I would say in this moment that I have all of those things. Wow. My life could be more vibrant and it could be more wealth and it could be more playful and I could have even more trust or be more inspired and more congruent. And I actually have them all already. So my golly gee, I'm looking at that list and I'm thinking, what would I like to ask for now? Huh. You can, change and upgrade and update your energetic priorities or your energies that you'd like to create as your life. If you're a person that hasn't felt safe in this world, well, you can ask for that. Ask for what it feel like to be safe and secure in this world. Um, if you want to feel passionate about life, if you want to feel empowered, if you want to speak your truth, if you want to be connected to everyone and everything, if you want to perceive the oneness, all of those things, if you take those energies and you expand them out into the blackness, as Dr. Joe calls it, or into the quantum field, into the void, into the divine, into the universe, as you ask for those energies, the universe takes them and goes, okay, we're on it. So I love the acknowledgement that I've got from this. It really is super, super exciting. Huh. So, anyways, on that note, um, yeah, play with energetic priorities or finding the energies that you would like, and if you'd like to book a session because you'd like to try and figure something like that out, I'd love, love, love to help you. You can contact me at thewealthylala@gmail.com. So have a great rest of your day and big hugs to you guys. Thanks.